So, respected DG sir, SD sir, distinguished dignitaries, all participants, a very good noon. I'm Deepak Raj and I'll be the moderator for this event. It is my great pleasure and honor to open this forum for exchange of MoUs and announcement of partnership between STPI, STPI Next, and six eminent organizations of their domain. I would like to express my deep gratitude and sincere thanks to the respected dignitaries, participants for the gracious presence and sparing time for this event. Now I would like to invite Sri Subodh Sachan, Director STPI, CEO AIC STPI Next Initiative, for his welcome address. Before handing over the session, let me take you through his brief intro. Mr. Sachan is an IIT Roorkee, IIM Bangalore alumnus, a senior professional of the industry who has joined STPI as the director and has been working in the industry at the global level. He is currently having the startup and promotion division at STPI, and previously he has successfully headed the Bangalore chapter of IIM Ahmedabad Center of Incubation and Entrepreneurship. Over to you, sir, for your welcome speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepak. Respected dignitaries on the digital dais, Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General STPI and Chairman STPI Next, Shri Devesh Tyagi ji, Senior Director STPI and Executive Chairman STPI Next, Dr. Mohan Khan, Chairman Pontaq UK India Innovation Fund, yet to join Shri Vikramjit Singh, Chief Executive Director Bank of Baroda, Mr. Sunil Mochwani, Country Manager Mathworks, Mr. Ajay Rajan, Country Head Transaction Banking Group, Yes Bank, Mr. Bhupesh Rathore, National Head Corporate and Government Advisory, Yes Bank, Ms. Shraddha Sharma. Shraddha ji, I think request you to switch on your video so that we can ensure that you are there. Founder YourStory, Shri Akhil Handa, Chief Digital Officer, Bank of Baroda, yet to join. Shri Rajiv Ramanan, Director Startup Program and Technology Alliances, Freshworks. Mr. Prem Kumar Bhartasarthi, Pontaq. All jurisdiction directors of STPI, representatives from our partners, ecosystems, esteemed mentors, founders, entrepreneurs, startups across all centers of excellences and other network of STPI, all my colleagues of STPI and STPI Next, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of STPI and STPI Next Initiative, as Director, Startup Innovation and Promotion and MD and CEO of STPI Next Initiatives, it is a matter of honor and great privilege for me to welcome all the dignitaries for this session where we are going to further strengthen the startup ecosystem of startups. As it is often said, the growth is never by mere chance. It is the result of forces working together. And hence, today all leading organizations in startup ecosystem have come together with a single vision of enabling the best startup ecosystem so that each and every entrepreneur, each and every idea, each and every products and proof of concepts really see the market and the real place for which these passionate entrepreneurs are working for. I am very, very pleased indeed to welcome Director General Omkar Rai. I extend my warm welcome to Dr. Omkar Rai ji, under whose guiding force STPI has been working towards creating the best enabling ecosystem for the IT and ITS industry by and large, but especially for the startup ecosystem. Under his leadership and vision, in the last 4 years since I've been with STPI, we have made significant effort in the startup ecosystem. So thank you, sir, and I welcome you on this dais. I also I'm pleased to welcome all our distinguished leaders from the organizations, from Mathworks, from YourStory, from Yes Bank, from Bank of Baroda, from Pontaq. Let me, first of all, let me extend my warm welcome to Dr. Mohan Khan for Pontaq from Pontaq and Prem Parthasarathy from Pontaq. This is, sir, thank you for taking out time. I'm sure it's very, very early morning for you. But let me tell you, Pontaq as a group has been one of the first few partners who have started working with our FinBlue program. Dr. Sanjay Tyagi, Director STPI Chennai, is also on the dais. And Pontaq was the first to bring cross-border advantage to the startup ecosystem. And I'm happy and I'm very pleased to say that today we are going to see another progress in terms of the Pontaq and STPI relationship, in terms of be establishing the first fund from STPI perspective. This first fund is going to be a SEBI listed fund, and with all various processes of screening and selection, Pontaq has been finally selected, and I'm really looking forward to establishing this fund. And as STPI, we're looking forward to establish this fund where Pontaq has committed to bring a lot of capital from institutional investors to support the funding mechanism of this particular fund. I'll also like to welcome on board, Rajiv Ramandan, Director Startup and Technology Alliance, Freshworks. Freshworks has been very closely working with startup ecosystem through its software SaaS tools, through its various mentoring, especially with respect to startup scale up space. And hence Freshworks has been working with leading organizations, accelerators across India as well as the world. Today, Freshworks and STPI are going to enable its bouquet of startup tools and services in the form of free credits. So I again welcome Rajiv Ramandan for the same. I'll also like to welcome once more Mr. Sunil Motwani, Country Manager Mathworks, and his team, who's connected also on the audience. Mathworks has been working very closely with the entrepreneurs, with the technical engineering graduates, with all these tools. And I think all of us who have come from engineering backgrounds have always worked on Matlab's tools and various tools. Today, Mathworks is already bringing these tools to startup ecosystem, but more important part is bringing the knowledge resources to the startup ecosystem. So I welcome Mr. Sunil Motwani and his team on this digital dais. I'd also like to welcome Ms. Shraddha Sharma, founder of YourStory. I think YourStory is well connected with startup ecosystem, and under your leadership, ma'am, as YourStory has been able to give a rightful platform to all startups. These startups who are looking for exposure, who are looking to ensure their success stories are celebrated, and also the recent vertical of YourStory education, which has brought out the various important knowledge aspects for the YourStory. So, ma'am, I welcome you on this digital dais. I'll also like to welcome Bank of Baroda partners who will be joining soon. Bank of Baroda has been in the forefront of bringing not just banking services to the overall industry, but also very focused startup related banking services and startup related banking facilitation. So Bank of Baroda is today we will witness an MoU which will ensure all our startups working across various centers of STPI and beyond will be able to access the startup related banking services from Bank of Baroda. And also, Yes Bank. We have, again, this is one of the partners which was early partners in our FinDo program. Yes Bank has been doing great job with the startup ecosystem on a fintech space in particular. But recently with the, Yes Bank has been working very clearly in just not in technology adoption part, but also in the form of enabling go-to-market for access to the lot of startups. And I think with that focus in mind, I'm really pleased and I'm pleased to welcome both Mr. Ajay Rajan, Country Head Transaction Banking, Yes Bank, and Mr. Bhupesh Rathore, National Head Corporate and Government Advisory, Yes Bank. Well, STPI in last 3 years or so has been able to create focused intervention to the startups. Today we are already, on our platform, we have 150 plus startups, 147 to be very precise, startups which are getting incubated in across various centers. We have launched 13 Center of Excellences, and soon, under the leadership of Dr. Omkar Rai and able guidance from all our jurisdiction writers, we'll be soon launching 8 more Centers of Excellence. And to the audience, all these Center of Excellences are focused on emerging tech. They are either sector focused or technology focused, but primarily we are looking to build a right infrastructure, right tools and technologies, and along with a right collaborative environment with respect to having great set of mentors and industry leaders to give patronage to each and every startup. Well, today the signing of the MoU is an important next step from whatever we are trying to do. Firstly, it's going to demonstrate our strong support and budding entrepreneurs so that they can expand and strengthen their innovation and engineering capabilities. Secondly, whatever MOUs we are signing today, this is one small step again in terms of harnessing startup capabilities to create and apply innovative technology solutions for the various problems faced within India, and so that we can really create solutions for the world as well. Finally, it is important that continuing contribution to the startup ecosystem, all of us come collaborative together so that the overall product development ecosystem grows in India. And under leadership of DG Dr. Omkar Rai, looking forward to have product nation, leading forward India as a software product nation is the vision which we are which we are building upon. I'm confident all these MoUs and partnerships today, which we are witnessing, will be yet another significant step forward in terms of what we are trying to bring into the startup ecosystem. Again, my sincere, appreciation to all budding entrepreneurs, startups who have connected today. So I look forward to this event today, and once again, I welcome all the dignitaries on the dais today, and thank you, and over to you, Deepak.
Thank you, sir, for you. Let's start with a video which we have developed showing the milestones which STPI has achieved in the startup domain. I hope you have all enjoyed the video. These are some initial milestones which we have achieved, and we believe we have a lot more to achieve. Now, starting with the signing and exchange of MOUs. The first MOU which is being signed is between STPI, STPI Next, and Mathworks.
So I request Director General STPI, Senior Director STPI and Mathworks to sign at their end. So we'll do a symbolic signature at our end each. Maybe Deepak, you can unshare. Stop sharing, Deepak. Stop sharing. Request to. Thank you from Mathworks team, Rajiv.
Now I would like to invite Sri Sunil Motwani, Country Head Mathworks, to give his address. Before this address, I would like to share a short intro of his. Mr. Sunil Motwani is a bachelor's degree of electronics engineering from VNIT Nagpur, a postgraduate diploma in software technology and National Center of Software Technology, Mumbai. He has been at Mathworks from 2008 when it started, and it started its operation in India. And he has more than 30 years of experience in sales and technology products across various industries like automotive, aerospace, defense, communication, industrial automation, and many more. Over to you, Mr. Motwani, for your address.
Thanks, Deepak. Could you give me ability to share my screen,
Yes,
please?
yes, sir. Just.
Before I share my screen, first of all, thanks to STPI and specifically Mr. Subodh for helping us collaborate on this specific initiative of STPI. We are really happy to be associated with STPI Next on this initiative to strengthen the startup ecosystem in India. Respected dignitaries, thank you for joining us on this event. And here I would like to just share a few things from my side before we move over to the next item on the agenda. Deepak, could you confirm if you are able to see my screen?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Thank you so much. As I said, Mathworks as an organization is very happy to be associated with STPI on this initiative of strengthening the startup ecosystem in India. When we look at the common vision and goals of STPI Next and Mathworks Accelerator and Startup Program, we thought this was the perfect fit for both these organizations to come together on this initiative. In this short talk, I would just like to take you through the overview of my organization and what my organization's accelerator program and startup program is all about. And for all those who are joining this meeting from the startup side, I would like to talk to you about how do you get started. Okay, so with that, very quickly giving you a short overview of my organization. Mathworks is a 35-year plus organization. We are based out of Boston in North America. We have 5,000 plus people working for our organization across 34 offices with a $1 billion plus dollar of revenues. We have been a privately held company from the time we got incorporated. We continue to be that right now. And we have been a profitable company every year. What are our products? We have two platform products, as we call them. Number one is Matlab, and if you have, if you're coming from an engineering background, you don't need introduction to this tool. But at a very high level, Matlab is a programming environment that is used by engineers and scientists for algorithm development. We have another platform product called Simulink, which is a graphical environment for designing, simulating, and testing systems. When we were incorporated way back in 1984, the vision of our founders was to make tools that would accelerate the pace of engineering and science. And with these two software tools or tools that we have to offer to the engineers and scientists, we help them very quickly bring their ideas to reality. As you all know, the product development that happens in today's environment, most of the product design and development happens in the virtual world before you go and build the prototype of your product or your engineering system. And these tools are the tools that are used by engineers and scientists to model, simulate their designs, and also verify and validate their designs in the virtual environment before building their prototypes. So where are our products used? We have 5 million plus users across 190 countries. 100,000 plus businesses, governments, and universities across the globe are our customers. And if you look at automotive and aerospace as two specific segments where we have big users of our tools, all the top 10 automotive and aerospace companies in the world use our tools to build engineering solutions. There are a whole lot of industries listed here who use our tools, ranging from automotive, aerospace, as I said earlier, all the way to financial services. Our tools are also used by financial companies to work on things like risk analytics, which is so very critical in today's world. We are very deeply rooted in the academia world also, with 6,500 plus colleges and universities who use our tools to teach software and engineering to their students. Of these 6,500, I'm very happy to say almost 2,000 plus engineering colleges and universities in India use our tools to teach various engineering subjects. There are 2,100 plus engineering books written on Matlab and Simulink, and tens of thousands of graduates come out of engineering colleges and science colleges every year and enter the workforce. Today, if you look at, if someone was to do a job search, there would be many, many jobs available for students skilled in Matlab and Simulink as the tool. What we see as the mega trends, in the engineering and scientific world today, number one, we see embedded software getting more and more into all engineering systems, and the complexity of this software keeps on growing as newer systems evolve. The second big mega trend that we see, and this is nothing new, is artificial intelligence. Every engineer today thinks of using artificial intelligence technology in the products that they are designing. And the third one that I've listed here is a byproduct of that, which is autonomous systems. Most of the engineering systems today being designed are being designed to autonomously take decisions on the field. And AI is playing an important role in helping engineers and scientists design these autonomous systems. Every CEO that you talk to today of the top 100 engineering companies in the world would be talking about digital transformation. That's a big mega trend that we see. And the fifth one, and very important one, is electrification of engineering systems. We see more and more of hydraulics and mechanical systems getting replaced by electrical systems. And with our tools, I'm very glad to say that Mathworks is supporting all these 5 big mega trends that we see. And to all the startup organizations who are attending this call today, I would like you to have a look at this, and I'm sure you would find something gel with this mega trends, in terms of the ideas that you have for your own startup. And if you are working in any of these areas, we would be happy to collaborate with you. Very quickly, talking about what our accelerator program is all about. We have tie-ups with 400 plus accelerators in 17 countries, and very happy to say almost 25% of these are in India. We started by first tying up with incubation facilities in all the top academic institutes in India, including IISCs and IITs. We later on started working with different government organizations because we saw government of India taking huge initiative to build this startup ecosystem in India with accelerator programs. We tied up with Atal Innovation Mission few months back actually, and we are very happy that we have got this opportunity today to sign up this MOU with STPI Next, making us the partners in this common objective of building this strong ecosystem in India for startup community. What benefits startup companies get when they tie up with STPI Next, because now STPI Next is part of our accelerator program. So if you are a startup company working under any of those COEs that STPI has established across the country, you would get the benefit of having free access to all our software for a year, which includes Matlab, Simulink, and 90+ add-on products working in application areas like deep learning, machine learning, designing mechanical systems, electrical systems, motor control, image processing, signal processing, controls design, and so on and so forth. Other than getting free access to our software, there is a lot of technical support that would be available to you, both in the form of building awareness and building competencies in your organization. See, for every organization, there are three things that are important, other than having a great idea for designing a product: people, process, and tools. And we will try to help you in each of these areas. If you're thinking of people and thinking of developing their competencies in the technology area that you are working on, we can help you with that. We can help you with, as I said, the license of our tools that are used by different industries today globally. We can help you understand the best practices that these industries use to design their products, right? So that you can incorporate those best practices as you get to bring your idea to reality as a product. And the third one is process. Process is also very important. You should understand the kind of processes that global companies today are using to very quickly bring their ideas to reality. And we would be able to help you, guide you on those processes. How do you get started? First of all, if you need access to our tools, we will create an online portal for you from where you can download these licenses and start using them very quickly. And on that, in terms of what the process is, if you face any difficulties, there are specific people in our organization who can help you with that, or there are emails listed here, where you can write and get that support from us. And a lot of these details will be communicated to you through the STPI COEs. In the end, I would like to once again thank Subodh sir and STPI Next for this partnership. Certainly looking forward to working with you, sir, finally with the goal of accelerating the pace of engineering and science in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Motwani, for sharing the capabilities with Mathworks and its adoption across various segments. The trends which you have shared will be definitely help participants to frame their way forward. Now, moving on to the next signing of MOU, we have Mr. Ajay from Yes Bank and Mr. Bhupesh Rathod from Yes Bank, who will be signing the MOU. Sir, can you?
SD service, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So now I would like to invite Mr. Ajay from Yes Bank for his address to give you a short intro of Mr. Ajay. He has earned his bachelor degree of commerce from Delhi University and an MBA degree. He brings more than 25 years of experience of corporate banking. Prior to joining Yes Bank, he was global head of fintech at multinational bank. He has strong network capabilities and proven track record of client solutioning, product innovation, and launching managing business. In his role, he is responsible for propelling sales and growth product development initiatives across all transaction banking products of Yes Bank. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Deepak. Really appreciate that, and very humbled to be part of this very august attendance, and also, very privileged, both personally as well as an institution, to be part of, this very strategic initiative spearheaded by STPI. And if I have to optimally use my 5 minutes of time, I would really, like to spend it and say a few words about this most amazing startup ecosystem, and also, spend time on how startup bank like Yes Bank plays a key role in fostering this ecosystem. So if I have to really, start up and spend some time around the startup ecosystem, entrepreneurship is really embedded in India's economy and culture, and this is really one big factor which traces the roots of India's startup ecosystem, and it will also be a very key factor to chart out its future roadmap as we move towards a $5 trillion economy. So if India's startup economy has been booming, really over the last decade, and we've seen multiple significant activity over multiple fronts, which could include the founding of new startups, include the development of regulatory infrastructure, the scale of funding, the influx of global investors, and last but not the least, the customer adoption and also the commercialization. We've really seen models evolve around payments, e-commerce, specialized retail, marketplaces, SaaS, BaaS, EdTech, health tech, clean tech, and countless more innovative areas. The government has really, played a very significant role in building this ecosystem with push like Digital India, Startup India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. All of these have really provided very great impetus in fostering this ecosystem. And if we look at the past decade, it's been an amazing decade. At last count, India had 55 unicorns. 11 unicorns created in 2020 itself, 13 created in the first 5 months of 2021, and raised overall around $9.5 billion. Really makes us feel whether, we are in the midst of a pandemic, right? And if we can look at attributing India's current entrepreneurial startup ecosystem as a maybe part of three waves. One has been the growth of the IT and related infrastructure, and STPI really has played a big role there. The India stack within that itself has also been a big propeller. The second wave, I would call it for as consumerism and the ever-growing India market, which also includes two distinct India opportunities. One is the India opportunity, and the second is the Bharat opportunity, and the third is being the innovation. So a lot of people really sometimes ask me whether this is yet another bubble like we saw in 2008. But clearly, what we see in India today is a boom driven out of innovation, which is created to solve friction in day-to-day life, whether it is consumer or whether it is business. B, it is innovation which is driven by young entrepreneurial mind, and which is supported by some of the maybe smartest investors backing them. And C, which is the government and regulatory infrastructure support. And last, very evolved India retail and consumer market, which is providing both demand and opportunities to scale. So by definition, if you look at startup is really meaning to taking risk and creating velocity in the face of friction. And if you look at this genre of startups, they have really capitalized on all of these three definitions, and they think that this boom is here to is not only stay but also thrive. But having said which, it's not always a rosy picture. There are at last count almost 55,000 startups listed in India, and it's a very common knowledge that a very low success ratio is there amongst that. So, and it could be among various reasons for this. It could be lack of proper ideation, it could be lack of financial support, it could be the inability to control cost, inexperience, or even something as fun unforeseen as the current pandemic that we are dealing with, right? So I think some reports I read, it said that 40% of startups had actually halted operations during this pandemic, which is also termed as a black swan event now. So which brings me to the next part of of how banks and especially I would maybe put course to how a startup bank like Yes Bank can help startups. So there is a very fundamental realization among both startups and banks that the mutual role between both of them could not only be towards providing startup with a banking channel and help, but also help them towards helping improving their business processes, or helping them to get clients, supporting their funding needs or supporting their growth needs. So if you look at Yes Bank by itself, and our own genesis as a startup bank formed only 15 years back, we have always worked on an art model, which is alliances and relationship through technology. So, we've always believed as a bank in not only cultivating but also nurturing a vibrant startup and fintech, techfin ecosystem with whom we partner, we innovate, and we also co-create. So we've seen always the startups with a collaboration eye and not a competing eye, and we've attempted to always play a pivotal role at every stage of startup journey, which is build, growth, and transform. So at a build stage, what we've really done as a bank is we've always looked at providing not only a comprehensive banking solution, which is very curated towards startups, and also providing them liquidity management, but more importantly, we have given a lot of these startups access to a API sandbox. And this is where the startups are able to experiment, they're able to design, they're able to co-create some of their products, which then can be used by them independently in their business model, or also embedded into the bank itself. In the growth stage, what we have done is, as a bank, we collaborate with startups not only on internal projects. As I said, the API sandbox can create startups which we can use in our own internal projects. But more importantly, because we are dealing with thousands and millions of clients, we can also, depending on our assessment of their needs, also give startups the access to some of these corporates, or even the government, for example. We can give access to startups with them. We have also supported startups to get access to incubators and accelerators, both which are run by the bank, also run by the external stakeholders, which could also mean our own HNIs, who may want to invest in startups, and so on and so forth. And lastly, within the growth phase, we ourselves have a very robust MSME strategy, and within that we look at participating in startups both by way of capital and also by way of debt raise through the bank's prop book, or again, as I said, through stakeholders who are involved with the bank. Last but not the least, on the transform piece, we have created within the bank API hub, which is a marketplace of sorts, where we give startups, fintechs, techfins access to the entire database of the bank's customers. So any of the bank's clients who may have need for any of the products which are being worked on or launched by these startups, it could, and it need not necessarily be only related to banking, right? It could be beyond banking, something like a payroll management or a HR tool, or anything which the startups is working on, which could be of use to our clients. It's like a marketplace which we have created for both of them to get acquainted and use each other's platform. So that's really on the transform side. So this ladies and gentlemen, is kind of in a nutshell summary how we add value over the entire life cycle of startups. And again, we are very happy, very privileged to be part of this whole initiative and work with STPI and STPI Next, to further augment this ecosystem to the next level. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Rajan. That, as you have mentioned, it is very right that it is really not a rosy picture. And the one which you have highlighted, how Yes Bank is helping to change gears and take the ecosystem into the next level. This will give the startups a better guidance and a clear picture about how Yes Bank is helping them. Now moving on, I would like to invite Sri Bhupesh Rathod from Yes Bank to deliver his address. Before that, taking through a short intro, Sri Bhupesh Rathod is a management graduate from Indian School of Business. He has over 20 years of experience in management consulting, policy advising, and government affairs. He has also been instrumental in building high efficient team sector expert, which over the year have successfully delivered over 100 strategic projects across sectors such as urban infrastructure, smart cities, electric mobility, tourism, livelihood, startup, healthcare, and many more. In his current role, he heads the dedicated division which works to deepen the bank's engagement with union and state government and corporate clients. Over to you, Mr. Rathod, for your address.
Thank you, Deepak ji. Thank you for that generous discussion, generous actually, description of my CV. But most of it has already been covered by my senior colleague Ajay. I'll just spend a couple of minutes on what the team does, in terms of the sectors, and what we bring on table for these startups is, the team actually works on two sectors. One is, some of the emerging sectors such as smart cities, e-mobility, health tech, and we work on the government side. We cover the complete policy spectrum, which is designing the policy, implementation support of the policies, and also on the private side. We cover the entire spectrum of services when it comes to the large corporates or emerging corporates for their market entry piece or the business growth advisory. And what we bring on table is honestly, we also know in terms of the requirement from the corporate side, the challenge areas, right, to enter a new spectrum or a new of a diversification, right? So a case in point, let's say a new technology which is coming up in an e-mobility space, and a traditional tier 1 or a tier 2 supplier wants to develop that particular piece as when he wants to partner in the e-mobility space. So these are some of the areas where we work. So we can definitely connect these startups because of our connect with the industry and the government in terms of go-to-market, or maybe sort of JV, where these companies also kind of work with these startups in not only funding the startups but also the technologies which are worth scalable, support them in technology, and also work with promoting those technologies. So these are some of the areas, whether, as I said, e-mobility, smart cities, healthcare, tourism, where we are deeply engaged, not only with the private sector, but also with the government, and we'll be happy to provide that support. So in the end, thank you, STPI team, Dr. Rai and Mr. Sachan, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Rathod. I hope the participants have well understood that how you are creating the connect between startups and the other stakeholders, and how the stakeholders can leverage the intelligence of startups. Now moving on to next, we have our third MOU being signed between STPI STPINEXT and Bank of Baroda. So I would request Mr. Akhil Handa from Bank of Baroda to
Hi, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes.
Fantastic. Good. Good afternoon, everyone, and Dr. Rai, Mr. Sajan. Uh, my name is Akhil Handa. I'm the Chief Digital Officer at the bank.
So Akhil, just I hope can we just show the agreements if you have signed?
So, the agreement.
That's okay. No, it's okay. Yeah, just let us. Yes.
Well, my colleague, Mr. Parmeshwaran, is signing the agreements right now. So we thought we're going to synchronize our signing. So we'll just do that.
Okay.
Other page.
Okay, so here we are. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So,
Well, Hassan, I would like to invite you for your address, but before that, just a short intro of yours. Let me. So, Sri Akhil Handa is a BTech degree from IIT Delhi. He has been a fintech entrepreneur, industry analyst, and investment banker with JP Morgan and founding member of CAG. His varied career trajectory makes him well versed at handling change at 110-year-old public sector bank, Bank of Baroda. Over to you, Mr. Handa.
thank you. Thank you very much, Deepak. And before I start, let me just introduce my colleagues. They are with me in the room. We have Mr. Parmeshwaran, who's our AGM of the FinTech and Startups business. And we also have Mr. Vishal Dingra. He's the head of startups business for the bank. Good. So, Dr. Rai, Mr. Sachan, and I also see some familiar faces. Ajay, Shraddha is there. Well, I can't see the face, but I'm sure she's around. Good afternoon to all of you. I don't have many prepared remarks. We have an AGM going on right now. So my apologies, our executive director cannot join. But look, first, this is a very momentous occasion for the bank, and we believe that the work that STPI is doing to promote the startup industry is catalytic. And given that the footprint that you have established across the country in terms of just and very thoughtfully so. And I was just looking at the center of excellences that you've established. It's a very well thought out strategy. So compliments to the leadership of STPI and STPI Next. And I think given the hotbeds of startups that you are establishing, I'm very confident that there will be many entrepreneurs who will draw benefits out of it. In fact, if I were to wear my entrepreneurial hat again, I would for sure come to STPI and establish a connect there. Just overall, I think the kind of energy that is there in the Indian startup ecosystem today, the kind of drive, and of course the big market that India is, the opportunities that it presents. I mean, this is the decade for startups to really take us to the next orbit. And I think we are really talking about X to 10x, the kind of shift in gears that we've not probably seen before. And all of it will be driven primarily by our young entrepreneurs who will do much of the heavy lifting. But I think they need enablers, and STPI coming up with these nurturing grounds and the banks and other ecosystem partners coming together, I think is a fantastic opportunity that will only accelerate this transformation that we are looking at. There was, of course, a period, I think, back in April or May, and probably Shraddha will point out the exact dates, when there were almost one unicorn a day that was getting announced. And it is phenomenal. Of course, in many of the places we don't understand the business model, but I think, just the sheer I think the sheer velocity and the force with which the startup ecosystem is moving, it just has a lot of agglomeration effect, and it does encourage more youngsters to join the bandwagon. Even seasoned, even seasoned executives from corporates would like to come onto it, and I see a lot of interest coming back into the ecosystem. A couple of things around the Baroda startup banking that we have established. So we've established Baroda startup banking as a dedicated channel to serve startups. This is 15 branches that we have established across the country, and these branches are in the hotbeds of the startup ecosystem. So Koramangala in Bangalore, Powai in Mumbai, a Sector 42 in Gurgaon, right? We have one Parliament Street in Delhi. These are across the country. So Jaipur, Indore, Ahmedabad, Kochi, Chennai, Hyderabad. And we are fortunate that we have a very large branch network of almost 9,000 branches, which enables us to be able to be very selective. In Koramangala itself, we have 3 branches. So we were fortunate to dedicate one branch only to startup business. And we have, of course, startup champions there. These are relationship managers that understand the startup business. They can empathize with their needs. Not everybody can. Startups were particularly not loved by the banking industry till the time some of us actually thought that they do deserve the attention, and their very specific requirements are met through this channel. And in fact, I was just looking at the mapping of the STPI COEs and the startup branches that we have, and I saw that from Bangalore to Bhubaneswar, Gurugram to Guwahati, Mohali, Pune, Delhi, Shillong, everywhere we have the startup branch. So I think it's a very nice overlap and coverage that we have. We have, I won't harp upon many of the services that we provide through these branches, but suffice to say that a startup branch is really a friend. And I just don't say it as a bite, but I really mean it as well. And we have a 10% market share of the startups that are getting incorporated in the country, and we like to take it up to 20%. And I think given the footprint that we have, we will be able to do that very, very effectively. Yeah, so those are some of the thoughts I wanted to share. Once again, I thank STPI, the STPI Next, for giving us the opportunity to partner up, and I believe our partnership will really help the startup ecosystem. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Andra, for the compliments. And yes, definitely it will be a 10x growth and maybe much more. The details which you have shared about Bank of Baroda startup banking will help startups get their banking need addressed and will enable them to reach out to you. Now moving on to the next signing of MOU, which is between STPI STPINEXT, and Freshworks. It is primarily not a signing of MOU, but an announcement of association with Freshworks between all the 3 parties. So I would request Sri Rajiv Ramanan from Freshworks to please give his address. Before that, I would like to give a short intro of Mr. Ramanan. Mr. Ramanan is a management graduate from Indian School of Business and Bachelor's of Engineering from Anna University. He's a seasoned executive and international experience in area of product management, consulting, business development, strategy, program management, and business analysis. At Mathworks, he has built out technology partnership ecosystem and scaled it over to 1,000 plus apps in less than 2.5 years. Over to you, Mr. Ramanan, for your address.
Thank you, Deepak, for the introduction. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna share my screen as well. Just can you just let me know if you're able to see my screen? Yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, it is visible.
Thanks, Deepak, for the introduction, and I'm very honored, and as a company, Freshworks is also really honored to be part of this partnership with STPI and STPI Next. So we completely believe that the ecosystem growth, the entrepreneurship ecosystem growth is going to be the backbone of the economy over the next 10-15 years, and it gives us immense pleasure to announce this partnership and also to talk a little bit about how Freshworks and STPI STPINEXT can help startups attain their next level of growth and prosperity, leveraging technology as well as the benefits that are given by STPI and STPINEXT. So I'll keep my presentation very short. I'd be open for any discussion later and offline, available offline as well. So I started with Freshworks for about 5 years back, but when I realized that this is a company with great potential and a great vision that has been that has been setting as a frontier for a lot of SaaS companies to be born out of India and grow globally. We were founded in the year 2010. And as of our last announcement, we've crossed over $300 million in recurring revenue. That's in 10 years. And we are valued at about $3.5 billion right now. And we have marquee investors who have invested in our company like Google, Tiger Global, Sequoia, and Axel. We were the first investment of Google outside of North America, and we wear that with a very proud hat. So we have grown from 0 to 3,500 employees in 10 years, and we have 13 plus offices globally and are expanding significantly. And one thing we are really proud about is we are part of the Forbes top cloud solution, right? So we are number 16 in the Forbes magazine, and that is something that we are really proud about because it comes with a lot of hard work and a lot of knowledge about SaaS and how we were able to scale globally as well. And as of now, we have more than 50,000 plus paying customers globally, and that list is very, very fast growing. So at Freshworks, what do? We are primarily a SaaS company born out of India, and we were able to build out solutions for customer engagement and employee engagement. So we are enabling companies to engage with their customers through any channel, say, for example, phone, chat, WhatsApp, or email, or any other channel where a customer wants to interact with the business. They can use our solutions, and companies are able to, without having to increase their headcount significantly, but engage with their customers in a very easy way through our easy to use solutions. So that is what we do primarily. That's our bread and butter. And this is just a quick list of some of our customers globally. So we are founder completely, Girish, completely believes that startups are the lifeblood of many economies around the world. And we want to enable startups around the world engage with their customers better so that they can acquire customers for life and grow. And thereby, they are able to significantly drive economies across. And we want to play a significant part in it because we have done this journey in the last 10 years. We grew from 0 to 300 million. We've gone through multiple cycles of growth, and we've always used some of our tools for our growth. So we know that our products work very well for startups who are in their early journey. So we want to ensure that as a paid forward initiative, we are bringing our tools to a lot of these startups who are starting up, who will be able to leverage our tools, leverage our knowledge, leverage our mentors to be able to grow. And that is our mission for the startup program. And with STPI and STPI Next, I think it's a great fit with the vision of why we are doing this, right? So it is an extremely important part for startups who have been successful in the country to actually act as a trailblazer and actually give a lending hand to helping hand to all the startups out there, so that the startups do not do the same mistakes that we did, learn from our expertise, and also leverage some of our networks and our customer base, etc., so that we are able to accelerate their growth. And we also want to work very closely with a lot of incubators, accelerators, VCs across the world. So we provide any kind of help that a startup needs to grow from where they are to their next milestone, just by engaging with them and providing them better tools. So this is our mission, and we want to stand true to our mission. And what is our value proposition for startups? Actually, we've broken it down into three parts. One is the credits. Obviously, every startup today, right? Technology and tools are not an afterthought. They are actually strategic decisions for them. So if you want to really unlock growth for yourself, you need to be having the right view of who your customers are and how you are servicing them and how you have to grow with them and how you engage with them. All those things become non-negotiable foundations, right? So we have a great set of tools that will help you engage with your business. We have products that range from the first touch point of a customer with a business to the last touch point of a customer with a business. So right from marketing automation, CRM, sales, chat, and customer support, help desk, and also customer success. We have products ranging across all these touch points of customers with businesses. So we are able to enable startups to acquire these tools at an early stage. So they always have a contextual 360-degree view of all their customers and they can optimize for their growth. And second, we also provide tools that will help startups reduce their operational costs and attain operational excellence by managing all their internal help desk and internal IT operations, etc. on simple tools like Freshservice, and also manage their complete HR using our Fresh Team products. So by providing all these tools that are absolutely non-negotiables for startups at very high credits, we'll be able to enable startups get started without having to worry about costs, etc., to start their growth journey. Second, we provide white glove onboarding. It is not like we provide a set of tools and walk away. We want to ensure we understand your business. We bring best practices from our 50,000 plus customers where we've done onboarding to understand what they've done significantly that has helped them grow. And we can provide that knowledge to you so that you are on the fast track to growth. And this comes from our own teams and also our partners who are strategically located across. So all of them will be able to work with you to ensure that you get the ROI and you get the success of adopting our tools. And third, mentorship and resources. We are one company that started out of Chennai, and today we are selling in 120 plus countries, and we were able to do that in a very successful way. So we have a lot of knowledge that we've acquired about how to build in India and sell globally. And all our executives are more than happy to be mentors and work with startups across to share our knowledge and also mainly share our mistakes so that we know that some of these things can be avoided. In fact, topics like how to build teams, how to structure your support organization, how to support your set up your sales organization, where do you invest your dollars with respect to markets, right? So depending on your product, depending on the target customer, we have to set these up in different ways. We have people with extensive knowledge on this who can come and share that knowledge with all the startups who are in STPI and STPINEXT as well. So this is our value proposition for startups. And so far, our startup program has also gone through a significant journey. We have 600 plus startup partners globally in 90 plus countries. We have a huge network, so we can tap into any of our resources so that our startups can attain their goals. We have extended our credits to over 2,000 plus startups, and we have facilitated over 2,000 plus investor connects as well for those startups. There is significant value that we are creating for startups who are on our ecosystem. And this is just another extension of the brief of products that we today provide for startups. For example, a CRM is like the most essential tool for any startup today, right? You need to know who your customers are. You need to know where they are in your sales journey. You need to be able to acquire them easily by running marketing campaigns or investing in them. And you have to have better decisions for your team so that they are able to acquire those customers faster. So a CRM, a chat solution, a help desk, and a calling solution. If you are servicing a global customers, you need contact centers to be established. All these things come in as a single package. So this is our CX suite, and we also have ITIL aligned ITSM solutions and ATS for sourcing, recruitment, etc. for startups. So this is all products that your startups will need from day one, and we are able to work with you through your journey. And this is not products that will just are applicable only for startups. As I said earlier, we have global Fortune 500 customers as well on top of our products. So these are tools that will grow with you so that as you scale, you need not worry about your tool set. You need not worry about retooling. You need not worry about change management, process management, etc. Because we can take care of all those things and you can focus on delivering your business growth. And this is just a quick view of some of the top startups in India who are already on Freshworks suite and are getting benefits from us. So these are all today household names, and we've been working with them from the time of their inception, right? And so a lot of these startups have also grown in the global stage. So we are happy to bring them on and share some knowledge also with all the startups that are out here in STPI and STPI Global. And this is some of the top partners whom we work with for VC Connects, for knowledge share, and also to ensure that you get access to some of the bases and mentors in these networks. We are happy to help you with it. So I think with that, this is again from Freshworks. It's a very, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to STPI and STPINEXT for considering us to be part of your story. From our side, we'll be more than happy to extend all our support to make this into a successful partnership and play a large part in ensuring that some of our next generation entrepreneurs get benefited from both our initiatives. So thank you. Thanks a lot for Deepak, Subodh sir, and everybody on STPI to have us on board.
Thank you, Mr. Ramanan. Thank you for sharing the benefits which the startup will get under the association of Freshworks and STPI STPINEXT. I hope this will help them understand the responsibilities which Freshworks is sharing in order to run their business. Now moving on to the next MOU exchange, which is with Freshworks, which is with Pontaq. So I would like to invite Shri Prem Kumar Barasarthi and Dr. Mohan Khan from Pontaq for signing of this MOU.
Request Prem to raise the agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. So now I would like to invite Shri Prem Kumar Barthasarthi for his address. Before that, a short intro of his. He has founded Pontaq, the first India-UK innovation fund that fostered partnership with private organization and government bodies, and it accelerated growth of portfolio companies. From the partnership has been from Haryana, Gujarat, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu to promote innovation and exchange between UK and state governments of India. We would also like to thank Pontaq for introducing Freshworks to STPI STPINEXT. Over to you, Mr. Sarthi.
Thanks, G. First of, am I audible? Yeah. First of all, it's a great privilege and honor to be here. Dr. Omkar Rai ji, Sri Devesh Sagi, Sri Subodh Chatan, the jurisdictional directors of all the STPI. It's been a great honor to be here and do be part of the great initiative that you all have undertaken. So thanks for the opportunity. But before we go further, I would like us to present a small video, if it's okay. Something we just posted this morning as a small teaser. How do I share? One second. One second.
For sharing video, you may have to go to share on the top.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Can you see the screen?
That's
Can
coming.
you see this? Yeah. Okay. It's yeah.
So the audio won't come, Prem. I think if you're.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, just stop it and do it from the top.
Okay. Again.
And share it.
Yeah. Stop sharing. Okay. And then,
On the top, you will see an option called share.
yeah.
Go to file. There we are.
File. Okay. Okay. I'm going to share the file. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
Just start the play. I think.
How do I unshare now? Okay. All right. So I hope that was okay from the video. I'm sorry about the glitch from my end. So we understand how important seed funding is for every single startup, and especially the massive effort that STPI and STPINEXT have undertaken. It reminds us of the initial funding that we secured many years ago from our investors. It was the 623rd meeting that when we had the first check from the investors, and that is what has translated into what we have today. And our ability to foster budding entrepreneurs from across UK and India, and also help them prosper and drive economic growth. So since then, we have been able to help the companies from India expand into UK and also into US and the reverse as well. And it has been an interesting journey. And what is important is the sheer volume of innovation that is coming out of India across the length and breadth of India, and having had the privilege of being associated with FinBlue and also with the selection committee, one has witnessed the IP that is being created. And as an example, as part of the committee we were on earlier when we were reviewing the companies, I'm sure most of them are attendees in this meeting. It was interesting to understand that at least 55% of these companies are actually coming from tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 regions across India, which is a grassroots level innovation. And many of these founders are actually solving global problems. And the reason why I'm very confident about saying this is, without naming the names of these startups, we've already had conversation with a few corporates in the Western world. I'm talking about big conglomerates who are really keen to look at the solution across various sectors, be it in fintech, or be it in agri, or be it in health, and see how they can leverage such technologies for their own value add of their own top line and bottom line growth. And that is very, very significant. And the list just goes on. And at the same time, during our conversation with the regional clusters, which Dr. Paul will also talk about later in the UK, and also our engagement with the UK government, there's a very clear indication that one could foster a lot of joint research and development towards creating or accelerating the innovation that India has got to offer to the world stage. And also, let's not forget the sheer volume of foreign capital that is coming into India at this point in time. And our core panelists mentioned about various FDI coming into India and the creation of multiple unicorns and so on and so forth, which is a very clear testament that there's more interest from foreign institutions wanting to come into India and support. And to this end, it will be in our interest to invest into these companies and support their growth globally, and also bring them to the UK and the US to attract foreign capital into India to drive economic value. And what is also important is we did a very small math internally within Pontaq in terms of what entrepreneurs in the dais today and elsewhere as well are able to deliver through STPI, and the numbers are mind-boggling. I mean, I believe this particular initiative would at least drive the creation of companies with a cumulative enterprise value of anywhere between 20,000 to 40,000 crores for India in the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, that is, in a simplistic way, roughly would be anywhere from 15,000 to at least 40,000 jobs. The numbers can vary depending upon how well the company is and what they deliver. So I think we are at the cusp of a major revolution. The revolution is being caused by STPI and STPINEXT, and proud to be associated and deliver economic value. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parthasarathy, for this address and telling how the importance of funds are there for startups. Now, moving on to our next speaker, Dr. Mohan Khan, to give you a short intro of his. He has earned his PhD in Management Science from University of Paris, Sorbonne, and degree in Engineering from Madras University of Technology. He is a champion of international trade, investment in emerging markets. Dr. Kaul is an influential and recognized policy advisor, business leader, and social entrepreneur, and an academician. He has also conferred his honorary doctorate of letter from Cape Breton University, Canada, in November 2007. Over past 30 years, he has built an inevitable rapport with president and heads of government across continents. Thank you, Dr. Kaul, from joining from UK. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to participate in this gathering. And my colleague Prem has already given you a brief introduction of Pontaq, and it's really great honor. And we thank Dr. Omkar Rai, Mr. Subodh Sachin, Mr. Sanjay Tyagi for giving Pontaq the opportunity to work together with STPI and STPINEXT. In my conversation to some of them, I suggested that London should be the next STPINEXT. So we would like to be the international hub of STPI, and with Brexit as a strategy here, with UK and India sort of trying to forge together a more global trade and investment partnership, we would like to be the focus of that, and along with STPI, make the startups and the technology startups, particularly in financial services, health tech, climate change, to be the focus of that collaboration. And please count of us on Pontaq to work with STPI to be the kind of global partner for you in expanding startup business across the globe. And I'm glad that many of our partners, other banks, have talked about this globalization. And I would urge the startups make globalization as a strategy from the beginning, as a for growth of the companies, because it's very easy now. Access is easy to look at the global market. For that, we in UK, actually 2 years back, we actually set up a UK India Technology Hub, which was inaugurated by Minister of Investment from UK and the High Commissioner of India. And we are being, but unfortunately, last 2 years, we lost. The hub is there, the place is there. It's a beautiful view, and we will hopefully, we will invite you all next year or end of the year to come and actually establish yourself there. Secondly, we also feel that with UK is a good first stop for globalization. Pontaq has an office and presence in US. But UK connects both India and US much comfortably, or we provide an access quite quickly. So we plan to have events here which could help the startups, like London Technology Week is there in September. In November, there's a climate change conference here in Glasgow, and we would really urge many of you to participate that, because both UK and India, climate change is become a most focus of the government strategy, and therefore there are a number of possibilities of governments and private sector work together on the climate change and sustainability related technology initiatives. We are also working with some of those companies, and we would love to participate with STPI to make it a major program. In UK, we have London, we have Belfast, we have Manchester, we have Glasgow as kind of hubs which will enable getting expansion of Indian businesses into UK and into the foreign market. One other thing for accessing foreign capital here is for the companies, if they are expanding into UK or establishing their offices here, we can access foreign capital or government subsidies or government low-cost capital through UK Export Finance. UK Export Finance is needs only 20% of the UK component of that export finance. So 80% could be in India or anywhere else. So that is the advantage of kind of establishing part of the here in UK, and then access foreign capital, both investment and other capital for the companies to expand. And we would be partners, and we would like to enable more and more Indian startups to expand globally. In London, as you know, many of the banks who spoke today have tremendous have presence here. All Indian banks, major banks, have presence here. We work very closely with Indian banks. We work very closely with foreign banks. We work very closely with the High Commission and the government of UK and India to provide presence as well as support to companies who might relocate here or expand into UK. So please treat us as our partners, and we are very, very honored to be part of this initiative. And as I said, please, next STPI Next is in London. Thank you and greetings.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your address, and thank you for inspiring the startups to think global and how can they reach out. and also putting forward the opportunities for global association between STPI, STPINEXT and Pontaq. Now I would like to move on to the next signing and exchange of MOU, that is between STPI, STPINEXT and YourStory. I would like to invite Ms. Shraddha Sharma from YourStory.
Hello, sir. Abhi, thank you so much to everyone. सबके बीच और मेरे और सबके बीच में अभी लंच है क्योंकि ये बहुत देर से चल रहा है. So I'm sure everyone would like to go for a break. तो मैं ज़्यादा किसी का दिमाग अभी नहीं खत्म करूँगी. The only thing कहना चाहूँगी कि अभी हम लोग सबको इस सेकेंड वेव से निकले हैं और एक चीज़ का एहसास जो हमेशा था वो बहुत ज़्यादा हुआ है कि आदमी सब कुछ खुद अकेले नहीं कर सकता है. और अगर and just to tell a very quick story that I come myself from Bihar. और जब मैंने यो स्टोरी शुरू किया था तो था कि स्टार्टअप्स वर्ड उस समय नहीं होते थे 2008 में और आज 1 लाख स्टार्टअप किया है. मेरे लिए बड़ी बात थी 2 साल पहले जब 1.5 साल या 2 साल पहले प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने मुझे बुलाया उनकी इंटरव्यू के लिए और मैंने कहा कि आज ये आवाज बड़ी हो गई है स्टार्टअप एंड इट्स बिग एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी आर ऑल हियर एंड सिटिंग एंड हैविंग दिस कन्वर्सेशन. ओह ओमकार सर, आई कैन सी यू. हाय, एटलीस्ट वन पर्सन आई नो वेरी वेरी वेल. और आज कहूंगी कि no more it is a noise, no more it is a segment, no more it is a कुछ लोग कर रहे हैं इंटरेस्टिंग. मुझे लगता है कि अभी हमें आगे बढ़ना है और स्पेशली अभी जब इकोनॉमी और सबकी इतनी लगी हुई है तो स्टार्टअप्स को इग्नोर नहीं किया जा सकता है. वी हैव टू. एंड मुझे रिक्वेस्ट है, ये मौका है कहने का कि आप लोग गवर्नमेंट में हैं, you have help startups because they can really, ये चाहे वो हेल्थ केयर हो जहाँ पे भी हो. हमने देखा बैंगलोर में इतना बुरा हाल था, मगर चाहे जो भी इनोवेशन हो सके. एक स्टार्टअप ने बनाया कि वेंटिलेटर पे जब जाते हैं लोग तो इन्फेक्शन हो जाता है, तो उस इन्फेक्शन से बचने के लिए डिवाइस बनाया कि बिकॉज वी डोंट इवन नो क्या क्या जरूरत है और बना रहे हैं यंग लोग. एंड इट्स अ ग्रेट थिंग. आप जो स्टोरी आज चल रहा है, इस साल हम यूएस में लॉन्च कर रहे हैं क्योंकि इंडियन स्टोरी पूरे दुनिया में जानी चाहिए. और हाँ, 10-12 मिलियन लोगों को हर महीने पहुंचते हैं. अच्छा है, प्रॉफिटेबल है और ये सब है और बहुत बड़ा मौका है हमारे लिए कि हम आपके साथ पार्टनर कर रहे हैं. बिकॉज आई थिंक समवेयर हम इंडिया में एज अ कंट्री, एज पीपल, एज मिडिल क्लास और स्ट्रगलिंग क्लास पीपल, हमने जो सही नहीं अपने साथ किया है कि हम दूसरों की स्टोरी बहुत अच्छे से सुनते हैं एंड मेस्मराइज्ड होते हैं, चाहे वो सिलिकॉन वैली हो. अपनी स्टोरी नहीं सुना पाते हैं क्योंकि हम सीखे ही नहीं. वी वर नॉट टॉट टू टेल आवर स्टोरीज. और मैं बहुत प्राउड हूँ कि हमने जो भी आज यूनिकॉर्न आप ये सुन रहे हैं, ये सब हमने 10 साल पहले जब ये बेबी कॉर्न थे तब सबकी स्टोरी की थी, सबको प्लेटफॉर्म दिया था और देते रहेंगे. एंड द मिशन इज कि कैसे हम 100 मिलियन लोगों को पूरी दुनिया में अब इंडियन स्टोरीज सुनाएं, उनको सपोर्ट करें, उनको मेंटरशिप करें, उनकी लर्निंग करवाएं, उनको फंडिंग दिलवाएं. ये सब कुछ करते हैं और मजे से करते हैं. एंड वेरी ऑनर्ड एंड वेरी डिलाइटेड टू पार्टनर विथ STPI. हम ये कह रहे हैं कि हम जो अभी लर्निंग कोर्सेज जितने कर रहे हैं, जो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स खुद बना रहे हैं, यूनिकॉर्न फाउंडर्स खुद बना रहे हैं, वो हम STPI के स्टार्टअप्स को वो सारे कोर्सेज देंगे. हमारा एक क्लब है जहाँ पे सारे स्टार्टअप्स मेंबर्स हैं और बहुत मेंटरशिप और कॉन्वर्सेशंस होते हैं. उसका सब्सक्रिप्शन हम STPI के सारे स्टार्टअप्स को देंगे. और जो भी हम प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं, इवेंट्स और ये वो, उन सब चीज में STPI startups will participate. So yes, with that, I will not hold you any further. Thank you so much. Very honored, very excited. और बस यही कहूंगी कि मौका है आपके साथ, आप वहां बैठे हैं जहां आप बैठे हैं, वहां पे एक भी स्टार्टअप को अगर इनकरेज कर दें तो बहुत, इट्स अ लॉन्ग लास्टिंग इम्पैक्ट फॉर द कंट्री. मैं खुद एक स्टार्टअप होके जहां से आई हूँ, जैसे जगह से आई हूँ और आज खड़ी हूँ क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं मुझे मौका मिला इस देश में. बिकॉज यू कैन इग्नोर योर बैकग्राउंड एंड बी वेयर यू आर. एंड आई होप दैट यू सपोर्ट, ताकि बहुत सारे लोग खड़े हो सकें. और आज एक वुमेन यहाँ पे दिख रही हूँ मैं, बहुत सारी और हो सकें. एंड विद दैट आई रियली लुक to each one of you to support. Thank you so much. And I hope अगर हम साथ होते तो अच्छा लंच करते, साथ नहीं है Happy lunch and thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Omkar sir. This is a great opportunity. I've always admired you and thank you for giving this to me and thank you, Saurabh. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Sharma, for this address. Can we sign the MOU? Ms.
Let's
Sharma,
sign.
do you have the MOU? Can we?
Where is the MOU? वर्चुअल सर साइन कर लेते हैं ना, बस फोटो ले लेते हैं और हम उसको प्रमोट भी कर देंगे अच्छे से. थैंक यू. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
So with this, we have come to the end of signing of MOU and exchange of MOUs. Now I would like to invite Shri Devesh Tyagi, Senior Director, STPI, for his address. Before that, I would like to give a brief intro of his. Shri Devesh Tyagi is a Senior Director, Software Technology Parks of India. He has more than 30 years of experience in IT ESDM sector. He has been actively involved in promotion of IT ESDM sector and also working for promotion of entrepreneurship, innovation, product creation in the country. He has been involved in various policy formation for IT ESDM sector. Prior to joining STPI, he has served National Informatics Center, which is NIC, in various capacities. He has wide range of experience in project management, software development, and he possesses strong technical capabilities and delivered a lot of remarkable projects during his period. Shri Tyagi has earned BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from Marathwada University and Master degree from BITS Plani. Over to you, sir, for your address.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I would like to begin thanking my Director General, Dr. Omkar Rai, for giving STPI this platform. I am very happy to see the type of collaboration which has gone today. I would also welcome all my colleagues, all my jurisdictional directors, and my esteemed colleagues from the STPI. I would also like to welcome, or I am very thankful for the entrepreneurs which are assembled today on this occasion. STPI Next and STPI together, under guidance of our Director General and Ministry of Electronics and IT, is trying to create an ecosystem which is beneficial to all. Be it a small company, be it a large company, be it organizations or any other person. It can solve what we are trying to create through this ecosystem is to attract the problems and get them solved through this platform. As far as the startup ecosystem goes, we have to take along with us research organizations, service providers, funding organizations, universities, and we are able to take them along on this platform. And this is a massive achievement for us. What we are trying to do is that we are trying to attract ideas. We are trying to promote innovation and research. And for this, we are accumulating startups which are at various stages of their achievements. Be a startup which is very nascent, a middle stage startup, and a startup which is looking for marketing its developed product, all are welcome on STPI platform. The entrepreneurs which we had associated with our initiatives are able to guide those startups in holistic manners. the various stages, the startup needs different type of supports. STPI has clearly identified the type of support a startup needs in various stages. And we are able to accumulate the responsive system which a startup may require during their journey. We are having a startup to support, we are having investors, we are having mentors, we are having advisors and other entrepreneur people. The concept of the leading mentor or the principal mentor which STPI has developed and which is primarily an entrepreneur has helped us in immense manner. The guidance they are able to provide to us and the feedback or the nurturing of creating of a startup ecosystem at STPI has been overlooked by them is tremendous. What we are able to do today is very heartening, and I am very confident that this support system in times to come will not only grow, but will be able to do justice to the objectives of STPI. What we had done is that we had started with a simple incubation center at our premises, and we had started from only 4 centers across the country. Today, we are in every nook and corner of the country with 60 centers. We had created an infrastructure to support IT ecosystem during this our tenure from 1993 to present. So when Government of India came up with the policies to support and nurture startups, STPI thought that we are the best placed organization to take that mandate forward. We were having connect with the industry, we were having connect with the academia, we were having connect with the government, and we were very closely working with almost all the state governments across the country. So that basis was there. And we decided to build on that basis. We started with collaboration with various industry partners. First of all, we created an entrepreneur park, electropreneur park, in collaboration with academia partner, we call Delhi University, and ISA, that is the industry, that was the industry partner for us. And we started from there. The program was ably supported by Ministry of Electronics and IT. With their support, we were able to do wonders. Taking it from there, we decided to take this initiative to all nook and corners of STPI. We were knowing that there are many new technologies coming up. There are many new domains being identified. And this gives a huge opportunity for STPI to take this ecosystem forward. We were aware that the new technologies are to be nurtured or to be used in creating wonders for our mass across the country. Basically, India is a massive country and we have enough problems. And in our belief, IT is the solution for those problems. Whether it is AI, whether for solving those problems, many technologies are available, whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it is blockchain, whether it is virtual reality and augmented reality. We had done justice to all those technologies. We had created an ecosystem which have support system to nurture and support entrepreneurs in all of these domains. Apart from this, what we had done that we had totally closely knitted them together. So suppose say a person is working in artificial intelligence at one particular center of STPI, and he needs support in, suppose say, machine learning from another STPI center. We are able to collaborate with each other. Our startup ecosystem has been created in such a manner that STPI has been proactive to the requirement of its partners. Whenever a startup joins STPI, the requirement and the steps to be supported for that startups are clearly identified and established. We also try and generally project the future requirement of a startup in advance, so that the stage those things are required for that startup are in place. So this has helped immensely, and lot of startups are being supported and developed and nurtured at STPI satisfactorily. What we are trying to do right now is that after putting programs and policies in place, we are now trying to expand our horizon, and we are trying to gain more and more startups and the problem statements for our ecosystem. And for this, our partners are very helpful. And we had already created around 13 COEs, and we had already run a successful program for under NGIS that we call it Next Generation Incubation Scheme. But we are not stopping here. We are further planning different COEs with different stakeholders for the future, and we will be able to support in almost all the domains and technologies in coming 1 year. So this is a huge boost for STPI, and we are able to take the vision of STPI forward through this creation of a startup ecosystem. We had taken 3 points before we had decided to create the startup ecosystem. We had done formulation, we had done validation, and we had also planned for the growth our startup ecosystem should develop in future. I'm very thankful to all our partners who has gathered today and give a tremendous boost to our efforts in taking STPI vision and mission forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your guidance and how STPI STPINEXT can be a prime destination for startups to get nurtured and grow exponentially. Definitely, sir, we are best placed organization to support the emerging tech startups. Now I would like to invite DG STPI for his keynote address. Before that, I would like to give a short intro of his Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General, Software Technology Parks of India, a premier government organization under Ministry of Electronics and IT, working for promotion of IT, ITES, ESDM industry in India. Dr. Rai has contributed immensely in repositioning STPI with a focus on innovation and dispersal of IT, ITES industry beyond metros. With over 25 years of experience in IT, ITES, ESDM sector, with a unique distinction of enabling close working of government and IT ESD industry. Since 2012 onwards, he has been very vocal and speaking in support of India emerging as software product nation. As a brand ambassador of Indian IT industry, he has been instrumental in formulating an appropriate interface among industry, academia, and various industry associations and the startup ecosystem players. His latest focus and passion is towards building a vibrant pan-India tech entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem and is driving all of us towards the same. Under his able leadership, STPI is marching ahead with several new initiatives such as Center of Excellence across emerging technologies such as AI, IoT, data analytics, VR, AR, blockchain, medtech, and many more. Next generation incubation scheme with focus of nurturing startups in tier 2 cities and Atal Innovation Center in Bangalore, network of makers lab fueling culture and design and creation, BPO promotion scheme which has resulted in ITES industry dispersal, many initiatives under recently announced national policy on software products, etc. Sir, I would request you for your address.
Thank you, my friend. First of all, I would say that this is a very momentous occasion that we have just signed these agreements, understanding with the esteemed industry organization, ecosystem players, in the presence of their esteemed leaders. And I am very glad to be here. In the presence of my esteemed colleagues, STPI directors. As my previous speakers have already detailed, that STPI aspires to actually become the leader in the technology startup ecosystem in this country, and has actually taken significant initiatives and measures to establish that leadership, which is evident from the fact that we have already launched 13 centers of excellence and we are set to launch another 12 pan India. Apart from that, we are continuously holding screening program, challenge programs, shortlistings all across the country, and therefore all the STPI centers have become a nerve, actually hub of entrepreneurial activities, startup activities in their region. And the entire outcome is in terms of it's a bottom-up approach, and therefore the hallmark of STPI's functioning is its collaborative nature. We are collaborating with industry leaders, industry players, and making them stakeholders in our journey. We are collaborating with them on equal terms, and therefore each and every center of excellence that STPI is creating, launching, and running is actually co-owned by the industry leaders. And therefore, I must say to the present leaders here on this dais, on this platform, that they are our partners. They are actually stakeholders, and we jointly own these centers of excellence that we have created. And therefore, any success that is seen out of this entire movement effort that we are taking together will be jointly owned, co-owned. And therefore, I must say that this is a kind of arrangement, a kind of agreement and understanding, which is absolutely win-win, which is absolutely on equal terms, and therefore it works. We know that how do we work with the industry leaders, because the working with the industry leaders and basically industry veterans, industry organizations has been our DNA. STPI actually have been working since its inception with the industry in a very professional manner. Being government organization, we have been very flexible. We have been most industry friendly organization in this country, and therefore it is the culture of STPI to work seamlessly with the industry, and that is why the centers of excellence that we are creating is happening in very record time, very least possible time, and we are launching these things and operating in collaborative manner. Industry leaders are giving leadership to these initiatives that we are putting in place, and therefore I must say that we have a way forward. We will actually become eventually the leader in the technology startup ecosystem space in this country. As the esteemed industry leader from Pontaq, Sri Mohan Khan, pointed out that next next target of STPI should be to STPI Next should be to put its foot in UK to create a platform where all these startups which are being nurtured by STPI could get a launch pad and could seek and attract the investment, funding, and attention from all across the world. It's a really very welcome suggestion, and I am sure that my esteemed colleagues who are spearheading these movements in their respective region, my esteemed directors who are present here, actually they will take a note of it, and then collectively from the bottom this movement will take shape, and actually it will become a shape. I won't take much time because we have already overrun. I must say that this STPI initiative is not an isolated initiative. It is one of the, it is part of the ministry's umbrella MIT Startup Hub program. MIT, Ministry of Electronics and IT, wants to make India a software product nation. And a number of measures have been taken to achieve that vision, to achieve that mission. And STPI is playing a major role, a significant role. It's a vehicle to, realize that vision of this ministry, the government. And therefore, I must congratulate my team all across the country, and I must welcome on my behalf to all the industry esteemed partners, the leaders who are present here, who have joined hands with us today, like Mathworks, Yes Bank, Bank of Baroda, Freshworks, Pontaq, and YourStory. I'm very sure that you have joined STPI's larger family, and we will together make a difference on the ground. We are actually trying to work with most possible people and leaders and entities who can make difference on the ground and could help our startups to succeed in their endeavors. And therefore, I must welcome on my own behalf, on behalf of STPI, and on behalf of STPI Next. I must not take much time. I must again congratulate you all, welcome you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging speech, and definitely we will try to build this collaborative ecosystem and move further on this. Now I would like to invite Shri Rakesh Dubey, Additional Director, STPI, for his vote of thanks. Over to you, sir. Sir, you are on mute.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Deepak. I'm going to keep this vote of thanks short because we are already into lunchtime. So good afternoon and namaskar to all of you. And thank you everyone for their valuable inputs and time. We know the startup ecosystem and what value each stakeholder can add to the system is a very vast and extensive topic. But I feel the unique thing about the startup ecosystem is it is extremely fast and self-evolving. What used to take years and decades of research and learning earlier, a startup kind of crunches all of that in a very short span of time. Startup experience is like learning to swim after jumping in the pool. Some time ago, we know that corporates used to take decades and generations before they reach unicorn. I used to be in TCS when it crossed the $1 billion revenue mark, and it was an occasion for India to celebrate. And fast forward to recent times, we have 11 unicorns already in the year 2020. Clearly, things have changed very drastically, and startup has become a buzzword today very quickly. Obviously, startup is a very exciting experience and place to be. And there are many enablers which have become active because too much is targeted to be achieved in a very short span of time. In this extremely evolving startup ecosystem, STPI and STPI Next today have made a very valuable but small contribution by getting formally associated with 6 organizations, each of which is distinguished and specialized in its own way. I would like to thank DG STPI and Chairman STPI Next for his keynote address and his
support to too many activities that STPI is doing concurrently and simultaneously. I would also like to thank the esteemed speakers, including Senior Director and Executive Chairman STPI Next, and the eminent speakers from the 6 organizations. Thank you also to Director STPI Startup Division and CEO STPI Next, not only for his welcome address, but also for spearheading these initiatives of bringing more and more partners on board with STPI and STPI Next, which enables us to make our service portfolio more and more comprehensive each passing day. Needless to say, all your addresses today have not only made a valuable contribution to the audience of today, but it will also benefit startups of various startup initiatives of STPI and STPI Next as we move forward. With that, I conclude and I thank you once again, all of you, for being part of this event. Thank you very much.